Imagine this, 12th century Japan. Among thousands of samurai, there stood a woman. Her hands were stained with the blood of men, and her sword as silent as death itself. She was neither a queen nor a princess. She was the unyielding spirit of the battlefield. Her name, Tomoe Gozen. With her beauty, she mesmerized. With her blade, she terrified. But who was this woman? Why did even the bravest male warriors fear her? And where did she vanish in the end? Today, I'll tell you the story of the most dangerous and mysterious female samurai in history, through 10 powerful facts. Fact 1. The origins of Tomoe Gozen. Tomoe Gozen was born in the late 12th century, during the early years of Japan's Kamakura period, a time of warlords, unrest, and rising samurai power. While her exact birthplace remains uncertain, historians believe she came from the Kai province, located in the central region of Honshu, northern Japan. Details about her family are scarce. It's believed she was born into a middle-class samurai household, where discipline, loyalty, and martial training were a way of life. Her father's name and background are unknown, and historical records focus more on her legendary battlefield presence than her lineage. Growing up in a time of constant warfare, Tomoe likely received training from a young age, not just in combat, but in the way of the samurai, Bushido. This shaped her into not just a fighter, but a warrior of honor and strategy. A woman forged by war, destined for legend. Fact 2. She was the most famous female samurai in history. Japan, in the 12th century, was a land soaked in blood and bound by honor. War was the breath of the land, and the samurai its sword. In this world, one rule reigned supreme. Only men fought in battle. But one woman shattered that rule. Her name was Tomoe Gozen. She was no ordinary woman. She was a samurai, ranked, trained, and living by the brutal code of the battlefield. Tomoe served the powerful Minamoto clan, a dynasty that ruled over Japan. Her commander, Minamoto no Yoshinaka, once said, "Tomoe stood out among 1,000 warriors, strong, fearless, and as skilled in battle as any man. With her bow, she could strike a target in the blink of an eye. With her sword, she could bring an enemy to the ground in a single blow. In one legendary battle, she even cut a famous enemy officer, along with his horse, clean in two." But Tomoe Gozen wasn't just a warrior by strength. She was a samurai in spirit. She rode into war with the body of a woman, the strength of a man, and a heart full of honor. Japanese society saw her as an exception, but history turned her into a legend. Fact 3. The personal bodyguard of Minamoto no Yoshinaka. Tomoe Gozen was the most trusted warrior and personal bodyguard of Minamoto no Yoshinaka. She always stood at the forefront of the battlefield, the first to face danger head-on. Yoshinaka placed absolute trust in her, not only because of her incredible strength, but also because of her unwavering loyalty and fierce determination that seemed to challenge death itself. Being by her side in battle was both terrifying and reassuring. Tomoe defended his life with both sword and shield. Their bond was more than just comradeship. It was a symbol of deep trust and unbreakable loyalty. Fact 4. Tomoe Gozen mastered every art of warfare. With her bow, she struck targets with unerring precision. With her sword, she delivered swift and deadly blows. But most of all, she stormed the battlefield, riding her horse like a fierce whirlwind. For Tomoe, riding was more than movement. It was a symbol of her strength and freedom. She never left her horse's side during battle, striking fear into her enemies with both the sharpness of her blade and the speed of her charge. Her versatile combat skills made her a legendary warrior in the eyes of both her allies and her foes. Fact 5. She led armies on the battlefield. It was the fiery years of the Genpei War, bloody clashes that decided the fate of Japan. The Minamoto clan and the Taira clan fought each other with ruthless intensity. Amid this brutal war, there stood a woman who amazed both men and enemies alike. None other than Tomoe Gozen. She was a hero leading the army into battle. Raising her sword high, she pushed her troops forward, paving the path to victory with every step. Minamoto no Yoshinaka trusted her completely, for Tomoe's strategic mind and courage rivaled that of any man. The enemy army trembled at the mere mention of her name. For this woman was both an armored warrior and a brilliant leader. She inspired fear in the hearts of every soldier. Tomoe Gozen was a rare female leader who marched ahead of men on the battlefield, a revolutionary figure for her time. Fact 6. Her beauty was legendary too. Tomoe Gozen was remembered not only for her sword, but also for her legendary beauty. Her face, with skin as radiant and pure as snow, her long black hair flowing like silk atop her horse, and her fiery gaze inspired countless tales. Clad in armor and wielding a sword on the battlefield, even a fleeting glimpse of her made both friend and foe unable to look away. Among thousands of samurai, she was both a fierce warrior and a symbol of captivating allure. Her beauty was not like a fearsome blade. It was a quiet, profound power, unforgettable and deeply stirring. Japan's history knew many female warriors, but none who combined physical strength, spiritual power, and natural beauty quite like Tomoe Gozen. According to the chronicles, in some battles, enemies who heard her name yearned not to fight her with swords, but just to gaze into her eyes. Fact 7. Her name Tomoe is a symbol of battle. Tomoe is more than just a name. In Japanese culture and martial arts, it carries a profound symbolic meaning. The Tomoe symbol, sharing its name with Tomoe Gozen herself, represented power, movement, and the energy of a storm to the warriors of that era. For fighters, the Tomoe symbol stood not only for physical strength, but also for the inner spirit, endurance, and resilience. This emblem embodies the fluidity of motion and the resolve of unwavering determination, a perfect harmony between a warrior's grace and ruthlessness. Being linked to this symbol emphasized that Tomoe Gozen was not just a force of brute strength on the battlefield, but also possessed sharp intellect and spiritual power. Thus, Tomoe Gozen's name came to represent not only a person, but the very spirit of struggle and life's energy. This symbol was revered as legendary and sacred in Japanese warrior culture, and Tomoe Gozen became its most powerful embodiment, inspiring both her generation and those that followed. Her name also sent a message. Women could be just as strong and formidable as men on the battlefield. In this way, the name Tomoe, engraved in history, is not only a historical figure, but a symbol of greatness, strength, and harmony. Fact 8. She became the inspiration for female samurai. Tomoe Gozen was not only a hero of her own time, she became a powerful symbol and source of inspiration for female warriors in generations to come. Her courage and strength showed the world that women could be just as brave and fierce on the battlefield as men. Many of the female samurai, known as onabegeisha, in later centuries drew inspiration from Tomoe Gozen's story. She lives on not only in history books, but also in Japanese culture, in anime, manga, theater, and literature, as a symbol of women's power. Her legacy has sparked a re-evaluation of the role of women in martial arts, bravery, and leadership. Over the years, Tomoe Gozen has become an immortal emblem of struggle and freedom. Fact 9. Her death still remains a mystery. The fate of Tomoe Gozen is one of the greatest secrets in history. Different sources tell different stories about her final days. According to one legend, she fought heroically in the last battle of the Genpei War and was destroyed along with her enemies. Another version says that Tomoe withdrew from the battlefield, put on a nun's robe, and distanced herself from the world to live a quiet life. This mystery makes her image even more mythical and impressive. The enigma between the life and death of Tomoe Gozen, known for her freedom, strength, and heroism, preserves her as an immortal hero not only in history, but also in the collective memory of the people. This mysterious end allows everyone to imagine their own vision of her and think about her story differently. Fact 10. Tomoe Gozen, a woman living on the border between history and legend. Tomoe Gozen is one of the rare figures who appears both in historical records and in legends. Her life and heroism have been described in many different sources, in epics, history books, and folktales. This mixture keeps her alive as both a real warrior and a mythical hero. Her image transcends boundaries and has become a symbol of female strength and struggle. This shows that Tomoe Gozen left an unforgettable mark not only in Japanese history, but in world culture as a whole. She became a legend on the battlefield, broke the silence of time, and wrote women's names in golden letters in history. Her story shows us that strength is not only physical, but also a power of will and spirit. If stories of such strong, inspiring historical figures excite you as much as they do us, subscribe to the channel. With such videos, every week let's hear the voices of lost heroes in history together and bring their spirits back to life. Share your thoughts and feelings with us in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and ring the bell so you don't miss any legendary story. See you in the next videos. History is alive. It speaks as long as you watch.